lean in.
What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is time to lean in, bitch. Jamie, are you moving? What the
Yes,
hell?
I'm moving tomorrow. So
Oh,
that's part of the reason why also this weekend has been nuts for me. Like I'm literally
eh,
in, I have no
eh.
furniture. I'm sitting on a,
Well,
a,
you
a
didn't, you
chair.
didn't, you didn't have furniture to begin
Don't do
with, so
that.
don't
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 do
try to
that.
act something like that.
Don't do that.
Nonetheless, how you doing, Danny? Happy Sunday to everybody that's watching right now. Well,
It's
if
Sunday.
you're watching, whether you're watching on Sunday or another day, it's Sunday, and we're here to talk about the Real Housewives of Miami. This is episodes 15 and 16, which serves as the finale as we go into the reunion the next week. Keep in mind, we did promise that the reunion is going to be live, so we have committed to doing that. And per availability, I believe it will be this Thursday. So, but check the page, check the channel. We'll give you the date. It'll definitely more than likely be this Thursday, even if Jamie can't make it.
Especially.
I think I should be able
Because
to.
he doesn't have furniture, so we don't want him filming.
Well, all my new furniture will be delivered on Wednesday, so I'll
uh-huh.
be good Thursday night. I'll be very good Thursday night.
Well, cool. So he'll be
I'll be
sitting
better
on
than you.
He'll have a bar stool. All right. So with that being said, like this video and subscribe to the channel. And let's get into it because we have a lot to talk about with so little time. All right. So in episode 15, also shout out to Chase who couldn't be here today. He had a fun weekend, and yeah, he can't make it today, but he'll be there for the reunion. So for those who are looking for him, he is not right. He is not fired. He's just on pause. So at the beginning of this, we pick up where we left off in episode 14, which was they were in the Bahamas, and Alexia and Adriana had their fallout. Adriana made her comment about Frankie, and we pick up with with Alexia having basically a breakdown, and rightfully so. We know all about Frankie. Frankie, it means everything to her, and his condition and situation that happened to him was a lot. We see it on the show now. He's still learning his own independence, right? And so, Adriana is doubling down. She's talking about this foot and how this is a consequence. You should know about a consequence, right? And Alexia breaks down. Alexia, one thing she says that stuck out to me was that that's why your life is the way it is because you deserve it. And no shade, like I felt that just because what she was going through, what Adrian had said to her, I think that was very sincere. I think that was the real Alexia telling her how she felt. Unfortunately, it came out in that moment, but I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was very true to how she felt. But Adriana is still going in on it, and she's talking about how her foot could have been broken to 1,000 pieces. That was she said, 1,000 pieces. And so, Alexia storms off, and Larsa goes to talk to her. They go to the beach or in the water, and Marisol is upset. Marisol is like, "You're an asshole," like, basically like stop and just tell the truth or whatever. And the truth. She was telling her to be quiet and be quiet. And so in this moment, this is actually hilarious. She said the truth is controlling your mouth. And Julia said, "Well, that's very interesting." Marisol tells her to shut the fuck up. And what does Julia do? Julia picks up a bucket of ice from the bottle service or whatever it was, and she attempts to throw it on Marisol, but she kind of throws it on herself. Not gonna lie, I really gagged because I was like, Julia, what
I
the
loved it.
hell? But I guess if you tell me shut the fuck up, I don't know what I'm gonna do either. And, Julia has proven to be this season. I think she's a bit unhinged in a sense. She controls it, but I think if we were to see her like go off, I would be scared, to be honest, because I think there's a lot
can take you there.
Exactly. So to finish this scene off, Kiki does make a comment that Chase wanted me to mention. I don't know if y'all heard it. Kiki said, "We are not in the ghetto," and Chase didn't like that, but I'll let him address that at the reunion. But Gertie and Nicole are really trying to get Adriana to see that she is wrong. Regardless, they're just like, "Listen, girl, like that's not okay. It doesn't matter what could have happened. It didn't happen. This did happen to Frankie." And Adriana is just still saying, "Well, listen, if my foot was broken, I couldn't buy groceries. I'm alone. What am I supposed to do?" And it's just a mess. Give me your thoughts.
So, two things here. First, let's be very clear. I don't care nothing about what Adriana said to Marisol. It was warranted. Marisol deserves all of it. But back to Alexia. The reason I'm all for a low blow, like I feel like there's no rules when we're going back and forth and you try me.
Yeah.
However, the reason I had an issue with the comment about about Frankie's accident is it was more so about Frankie than it was about Alexia.
Yeah.
And Frankie probably look at this like, why am I in it? See how I get thrown in stuff? I even did that. But that's why I had an issue with it. Like that's off limits. Like Frankie can do nothing too. You talk more about Frankie in that second than you did about Alexia, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like I could see what analogy she was attempting to make. She was like, we can't control what it happens. But it's one of those things where it's like, girl, just because something makes sense to you in your head does not mean that everybody else is going to see and correlate the points that you're trying to make. Like there is like a foot that you twisted your ankle versus an accident where this young man lost function of his body, is having to relearn how to walk, how to feed himself, how to talk. He was in a coma for months. Like that's just not. Her other son is an asshole and is right there. You could have used her other son.
You're right. And the other part about that is, and then after doing all that, trying to draw a comparison, two things real quick. You stood on the foot later on, so wasn't nothing wrong with it. You stood on it later. That's number one.
She stood on it immediately after.
Yeah. And then you're saying it can be broken into 1,000 pieces. Stop being.
What does that even mean?
Like, did it get ran over by a truck? Almost.
Okay.
The only way that would happen. Like, girls ain't that big.
Okay. Kiki weighs 100 pounds, if that. Like,
well, it was Kiki and Gertie. Remember, they both kind of. Well, it was two strong black women. Chase went like that.
That whole, I didn't like that comment either by Kiki, obviously, because I felt like it was trying to be PC in front of non-black people. Trying to be political in front of non-black people, and quite honestly, Kiki, don't know where you're from, but Latinos will act just the same way as y'all were doing in that moment. We sure will. So it's just like
worse.
Yeah,
it was
worse
nothing.
Sometimes.
My thing is, it was just a bucket of ice. Let's be clear. Nobody got to fight with fists and stuff, so it was fine. And I just felt like it was
and
just like
took him and put him in a cocky.
Put him right back in the drink.
Yeah. Well, even Marisol was just like, what show are you on? The Real Housewives. Marisol, you not exempt, girl.
This is one of those things, and like I loved Julia in this moment because that was a real reaction. I think we said it in the group chat. Like you could see where she immediately got mad, was about to toss, caught herself because she didn't want to. Then at that point, Marisol went and grabbed it. So now she's trying to rethrow it back on Marisol. Marisol's trying to throw it back on her.
It's shaking. Maybe they both were bottle girls. Give me the ice.
It was good. It's Julia. I love it. I agree with you, Cortez. I think Julia is one of those ladies that can, if you take her there, like Danny said, she will absolutely go there. She could go there.
Yeah.
But I think she doesn't want to. And probably because Martina's like, don't get on the show and embarrass us. Do not get on the show and embarrass us.
Martina do that enough sometimes herself, but that's another story.
Okay.
All right. So, in these side conversations, Nicole does go and talk to them, and basically they're trying to figure out how they're going to have dinner. Adriana wants them disinvited, and the other girls already said, listen, I'm not sitting with her. Specifically, they don't want to sit with Julia or Adriana at this point. So we'll get to that when we get to the dinner. We get a scene with Lisa. Lisa did leave the trip early, and she's with Leah Black. If you know Miami history, Leah Black was on the show in the past, and let me just say this. Leah Black said, listen, I'm going to give this girl some advice, and I'm going to promote my products, okay? Because she literally had those products laid out like Mary Kay.
Labels up.
Labels.
It looked like a QVC interview thing.
Exactly. And so she in this scene is basically trying to tell Lisa give her some damn sense, because that's really we saw flashbacks of her supporting Lisa when she wanted a child, and what she said, you're gonna have a baby, you have babies. She had the babies, right? And so in this moment, she's telling her she never felt like he treated her equal. Lisa in this moment, she's just so like, I'm so happy that I have Marina. So she thought, I'm so happy that I have Marina on my side. Leah asked Lisa, she's like, well, are you going to get back with him? Do you want to get back with him? And Lisa's like, Leah like, hell no, bitch. Don't get back with him. I'm just asking, I'm trying to test your damn head, but clearly you fell in the test. And so, she said, you should not, you bet not, in so many words. And they kind of bond on that, as Lisa says, like people don't understand unless you're going through it, which I understand what she's saying, but in this case, it's kind of clear, you know. So, any thoughts on this scene?
For me, no. Honestly, I'm tired of commenting on Lenny and Lisa already. We're not really getting much new information. It's just regurgitated stuff. Lisa, I understand she's living it right now, you know, in that moment. So I understand where she repeats herself, but it's just like we got the same information over 50 times.
Yeah.
I'll wait for the reunion to see if we get anything new now that
we won't.
We won't.
Lisa is in that part of her breakup where she doesn't want to be told the truth. She wants to be placated. So she wants to be handheld. She wants to be coddled, and I get it. I really feel I'm in the same spot with Lisa at the end of this season about her split as I am with Ashley Darby. Because if you remember at the beginning before Potomac, we were all like, oh, Ashley's single. She's taking this man's money. She's going to go down. She's a legend. She got that prenup, only to find out at the end of the damn season she's not getting a prenup. She still wants to fuck Michael. They got a house together, and you're just disappointed. And I really think Lisa, like, at least Lisa is dating somebody now, but like I was so hyped for her this season, and she aggravated me yet again. God bless her.
But I was glad that she gave Leah that answer when she thought about it. Like, she was honest, at least. Like, at least she lived in her honesty, no matter how dumb it may. You know, she was a woman that loves scoring all that. She lived in her honesty, regardless of what reaction she would get. She didn't just say, "No, I'm not going to go back." Like, girl, come on. Now.
Yeah, we all know you would. If he asked you, you would.
I also feel like Mia went by Leah's place and set that table up for her. I was going to tip the pamphlet.
Okay. Welcome to
I'm
the
weak. Not the joint chiropractic center was over there first.
Mm-hmm. I drove by.
This scene also reminded me that I can still do without Leah Black. I do not like that lady at all.
People love her.
I don't understand.
Do you really know?
Maybe some products. All right, so back in the Bahamas, it's before everyone's getting ready for dinner. And all of the ladies are talking about how they're not going to sit with each other. I mean, Nicole is the host. She has to figure out how can she split the tables up. And, Adriana is sad because the only shoe that she can fit is the ugliest wedge that I've ever seen. And she's upset about that. So I get it. I would be upset too if I had to put that wedge on. She says nothing else will fit. But Julia stops in her room and basically tells her, like, you know, what you said and what you did was wrong, and you should apologize about that and make it only about that. Adriana is crying in her confessional and just talking about, you know, how, you know, she doesn't have anyone. She's so alone and she's so depressed, and that was never her intention. She says that she would never say such a thing. I'm like, Adriana, you already said it.
Right.
You literally already said it. But what she's trying to say is that was never her intention. Yeah. She was trying to relate to her in a way, I guess, by using Frankie. That's what she says. But she would never do that, and she's crying. And basically, she's going to try to, you know, make amends with Alexia in the future. So, any thoughts on that scene?
Her honesty in that and her rawness, like I did appreciate that confessional from her. And she said one thing that again gave me the chills. And she was like, if I died in my place, it take days before somebody knew. That's how alone I am. And I was like, damn.
Because that's relatable. Like we've all had moments where we're like, shit, like my friends are off over here. They're doing this. They have partners. Like, yeah, I'm free. I'm able to do whatever I want. But like at the end of the day.
But that should also be a moment of self-reflection. What is it about you that isolates everybody? And you have everybody who comes in your life. So that should be a moment of self-reflection too. And I kept wondering myself, maybe it sounded better to her in Spanish. And tried to say it in English. Like, you know, maybe what she was trying to say sounded better to her, but it didn't come off, girl. Either way, you was wrong.
Yeah. She thought Alexia was going to hear like, oh, you're right. Accidents do happen. And I'm so lucky to have Frankie. You're right. Adriana, let's bury the hatchet.
No.
But it did not go that way at all.
No.
But like, I feel bad for her, but I can only feel bad for her up to a certain point because we've seen years and years and years of her letting just things fly out of her mouth and getting her in trouble and then having to backtrack, which I get. That's like a staple for Housewives. But like at the end of the day, like stop crying in your confessional over the consequences of your action. What are you going to do to fix it? And you can't expect Alexia to forgive you the same day that you brought up her son's near fatal accident. Like, Okay, back up a little bit. Stop trying to force it. Just like, yeah. I mean, you already ran her and her best friend. You were talking, if we remember last season,
she kind of ran herself into a bigger ditch by going at both of them. Because I mean, they already like
one
this.
Of them,
but fuck Marisol.
If you have one of them on your side, at least you could try to get the other one. Like, man. And she had Alexia right. Her and Alexia were right here to reconciling before Marisol showed up, and then this happened.
But that also shows, like, as soon as Marisol got there, Alexia was not even interested in having a conversation with her.
Oh, yeah, that was very clear. When she showed up in that moment, she was so happy. Like, oh my god, I ain't gotta be thanking these bitches, because she was so much more fun. Just those hours before she got there,
they didn't do a whole lot. More tolerable without Marisol to watch.
Yeah,
and it was just
are they Giselle and Robin? The Giselle and Robin of Miami?
Worse, actually worse. From worse to worse, sir.
Well, I don't know, because they ain't starting rumors about husbands.
It's coming.
Well, they are starting rumors about people that they marry and shit. They start a lot of rumors actually, because Marisol always somebody, I heard this, somebody told me this. So they are very similar, actually.
That's true.
All right, so we get to the actual dinner, and all the girls arrive. And what I will say, it was so stupid seeing Marisol and Lexi and them arrive, and the way they kind of looked at the other girls, like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's almost like they was fans. And I'm just like, okay, so they're really doing this. And my thing is, I get it. I get Alexia and Marisol feeling away, and maybe even Larsa, because Larsa doesn't really has her hidden issue. Well, not hidden, but her issue with Adriana and Julia. But Kiki, I'm just like, I guess they've all had an issue with her with them at this point, right? So I guess it makes sense. Yeah. But nonetheless, they sit at their table, and Nicole and Gertie are at the table with Nicole and with Adriana and Julia. They go over to the other table, and the first thing Lexi says is, "You got to pick a table. You can't be going between tables." I'm like, "Who died and made you the fucking boss?" Like, okay, shut the hell up. Very mean girlish, but they have drinks, they have cocktails, and the first thing that happens is, I guess all of the decor and the sparkles that was made for everything that was basically for Julia went to the wrong table. And Adriana wasn't feeling that. She felt guilty because, not that she did it, but that it caused a division. I think she was feeling bad, even to the whole thing of bringing the number 50 over to the table. And Kiki was like, "Do I look 50?" And I was like, "Well, you definitely don't look 30 either." So, I mean, hey, let's be clear, girl. I get it, because I think Julia looks pretty good in my eyes. But there. And so, they celebrate, the dancers come out, and what does Adriana do? She stands on her foot, and she is having a good time. So the first thing everybody notices is that Adriana is on her foot in her wedges, and Larsa, of course, goes over to her and is just like, "You're not even hurt." And Adriana's like, "Drop it." And she continues to dance as they dance the night away, which ends the Bahamas trip. Any thoughts on this scene?
I can understand why Kiki would be over there. Before the season started, her, Alexia, and Marisol in particular got really, really close. Like, Kiki was at events with Marisol. They were going to different things. So Marisol on multiple occasions have said how much she really, really loves Kiki. I just don't think that that's been really showcased on the show, because Kiki seemed to pop up in random places this season. So I don't think that they've really focused too much on that friendship. It still is a little disappointing, because, I mean, at least you're friends with Gertie. Like, you're still friends with.
That's what I was like. You're still friends
Nicole,
with them, but
so
clearly you chose a side.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously her and Julia had that issue, and she hasn't spoken to Julia or really Adriana since that issue on the boat with Julia. Like, Kiki's dead set on not being friends with Julia.
And like you said, Jamie, too, I know that Kiki and Marisol probably hang out more than Kiki and Alexia. And there's no reason to film Kiki and Marisol. I don't see shows normally film two friends of the show.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I will say Kiki has actually annoyed me this season. She's clicked down for me some.
A little bit. There are moments. Yeah, this trip a little bit. I kind of saw she's a little elitist. And earlier you said you don't know where she's from. She's from Haiti, I thought, and she came over here as a model and stuff. So some of the things she does say, I was like, "Oh, okay, girl, sure." I still love her, but I felt bad for Julia in this scene. You could tell that she was trying to have a good spirit, but you could tell she was a little disappointed. again, collateral damage of Adriana's mouth. And I can see why Larsa would be over there, because Alexia just called her, what's her name? Adriana just called her a bitch before.
The very first time that they were there. I didn't think Larsa would be over there. I mean, look who's over there. The only person over there she talked to was Gertie. Yeah, and we still find out that that's not going to be the case either, because they fall out at the reunion. Yeah. So
I do say I loved this scene because Gertie, while everybody else was talking, Gertie was focused on that plate. Gertie was eating. Gertie was.
I would have been Nicole. Nicole had so many shots. Yeah. That would have been me.
I really enjoyed this. And then again, Larsa walking up. You're not even hurt. I hate that bitch, but she's a great housewife. I love that instigation. I love it.
It's interesting to see Nicole drink like that, because she's that's me. But it's also funny how she takes so much issue with her father drinking, and then she just backs him. I guess she doesn't act like him, but still, it's just,
yeah.
He was an alcoholic though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's years and years and years.
Right. Okay. Well, that was the end of the Bahamas trip. So they go back to Miami, and I have a couple of scenes here and there, but the big scene that is to come, as they discussed at the end of the Bahamas trip, is Adriana's video release party for Faya. Okay. And so at her event, I'm not gonna lie, I figured that Alexia and them were not gonna come, but I kind of thought she would, just because she keeps speaking about how she likes her music, and this was about her music. So I kind of thought that she would kind of go for that. But she didn't. So I mean, I don't blame her, I guess, whatever. But at the event, Adriana has on even higher heels. I guess she could fit heels now again. And Gertie, basically all the ladies show up. It's Adriana, Gertie, Nicole, and Lisa shows up later. They ask Gertie about if the other girls are coming, and Gertie's like, well, there's another event. That was another invite, and they're not coming to the event. So we'll talk about that event in a second. But Adriana, basically, she's very remorseful at this moment about what she said. She feels Lisa in, who comes and looks really good, actually. Lisa has been looking really good, I feel like, especially as the season went on. And it seems like her spirit, outside of when she's talking about Lenny, she seems to be like kind of fun. Like she's still a dog sometimes, but I've been enjoying her a little bit. And later, outside of talking about Lenny, they fill Lisa in, and Adriana says she sent an apology, and Adriana wants Lisa to help her get the relationship back, because obviously these are like the OGs of Miami, Lisa, Adriana, Marisol, Alexia. So they want, Adriana feels like Lisa can help bridge the two back together. And of course Lisa says she gonna help out because she wants everybody to support her during her divorce. She don't want people divided while she's going through her divorce, because she needs everybody to support her. So of course she's gonna do it. And they showed the music video. Any thoughts on that video from Triller? Y'all remember the app Triller?
Do you remember when the iPhone, what was it, the iPhone 12 or the 13 came out, and they were saying, the quality is so good you could film on the video, and Lady Gaga did Stupid Love on the iPhone? This is literally what it gave. It looked like an episode of Housewives.
Remember the app? You remember the app Triller, right?
Yeah.
That's what it gave.
It was very much that.
I used that app during our Shady Survivor game.
I was just gonna say during our game, Danny, I wore that app out for the Michael Jackson challenge.
The thing about the video that was my favorite part is multiple times throughout it, like the editing sucked, because multiple times, like, it would pan to Adriana, and then she would start walking after standing still. So like they did not edit.
And she said she had to spend so much money to reshoot, and I'm just like,
can we call Mia real quick so she can say low budget?
Low budget,
baby.
Low budget.
They gave no budget.
No budget.
But you know what? Everybody saw the video. Good. Nobody came at the video. Nobody was hating or jealous or throwing any little shots.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. I mean, it was just like whatever. They supported the girl, so hey, that was good.
She needed it. She would have gone off the deep end.
Right. In parallel, Marisols Event, which I don't know what the purpose of this. I feel like the girl said we're not going to Adriana's event, so y'all need to have something, because it just did. I don't understand what they were doing, drinking cockies in this small ass house. Like I didn't understand it, but they were over there, and my comment was like, what is it? Like, what's the purpose? Alexia is there, and Alexia, Kiki, all those girls, we
Yeah.
call them the mean girls because that's what they act
Yep.
like to me sometimes. Alexia talks about the apology that she received from Adriana, which essentially just said, my bad. And she's just like, that's not an apology. That's something you say when you step on somebody's foot. I mean, that's not an apology. So she's not receptive of it. And Marisol is just very upset still about the whole ex thing and just basically how Adriana brought that out and said, you know, that he never loved her and that she had been texting him. She talks about that I guess they met on Bumble, which I don't know much about Bumble, but apparently Bumble is an app where the woman has to hit the man up first, which they feel like Adriana definitely hit him up first, which makes the situation worse. I don't know. I'm not really dating app type guy, so I can't really say. But yeah, any thoughts on either of these two scenes? Well, I'm sorry, any thoughts on the Marisol? So we talked about the release party.
Marisol being so hurt reminds you just of a version of a Me Too moment to say I've been victimized by Adriana too. Here's my thing. If I have a whole new husband, boyfriend, whatever, and I'm in something new, I'm not going to allow anything you say about somebody in my past hurt me because it might look like I still haven't let go of that situation and I've already moved on. So I wouldn't have. So it's definitely given, I really don't care anymore, but I'm going to use this to ice you out to you anyway.
Well, I agree and I disagree. I don't think she has any emotional attachment to that. I mean, she may. Who wants to hear that anybody that they loved?
She definitely has emotional attachment for sure.
I think it's more so like, girl, that is really, really fucking violent. Like, why
I
would
think
you,
that too.
Why would you do that? So I can understand why she is upset, but also at the same time, it's like, girl, you kind of been spreading other people's secrets too. So like,
Frankie, it don't really compare.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
Like, I can understand being mad, but this is now the third episode in a row that you've talked about it. Like, just say, I'm never confiding in Adriana again and let's be over it. The thing that I did not like about this scene, because it wasn't even Adriana's event. This was Gertie's event that she threw to get all the girls together, and Adriana was just going to show her video, right? So Gertie was the one that planned all of this.
Wait, Frankie she played it?
Yeah, because remember in the beginning of the episode, Gertie was saying, I wanted to have a big party to get everybody together for the to come together and see if we can find common ground.
No, that's not the same event. That was the finale event.
We're on the finale, are we?
No.
Never mind. I'm passing forward.
This was Adriana's video release party.
This was oh my god.
They were having their video release, and Marisol was having their event at the same time. Yeah. We haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah. The thing that I didn't like about this event was there wasn't an event. It clearly was.
It wasn't.
I'm just
let's get together so we don't have to go. Exactly. We don't have to go to that event.
We're inviting everybody over just to really show you how we're not supporting you. And I thought that was I didn't like that. It's one thing for you not to be able to go. Cool. But the other ladies could have gone or had their own thing of just like.
Well, that's why I think that they made them film because Adriana is a friend of the show. So I think as those women over there were it was just Larsa and Alexia. I think they made them do something. I just don't, because I feel like if they didn't, it's just Marisol's house. We see that house all damn time. So
but Miami is different in the fact that the friends of are pretty much treated like housewives as far as storylines are concerned. They
have been.
Well, they were.
Yeah.
They were.
So they're in a weird, like also a weird position where it's like you're OGs, but normally when we see OGs demoted, they pop up in like an appearance, like Jackie.
Right.
But these ladies are integral to what the show has been doing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will come back to this as we move into the last part of this episode because we're still in episode 15. But basically, in this scene, Lisa has an agenda. She has this friend of Marina, which is Lenny's mom, and she just feels like she can tell his mother about her son.
My God, today.
She is coming in, and I understand when you feel like you have somebody and I get that part. Like that's what happens when you integrate with families, with your spouse and stuff like that. But you have to always know that is their family. And deep down, at the end of the day, you got to look out for yourself, baby. They're not going to support you. Like, they may support you, but there is no way she, well, you know what? There is a way she thought that she was going to turn. Nonetheless, she basically is telling her more of what Lenny is doing. You know, I think when he went off on her early in the season, apparently, I think that was something that she held on to, that, okay, you know what? She's definitely on my side. She is definitely not going to be messing with her son. That's her son. Now, there are relationships that do end like that, but child, that mama want that money, whatever Lenny given, she wanted, and that's her son. So that's that on that. And she was just like, is this not disgusting, Marina? Like, he was texting girls, and the way that he spoke to you, you shouldn't do that to your mom. And Marina's like, yeah, but he apologized. You know, he's hot, he's cold. And then Lisa's like, wait a minute, hold on. She taking his side. So basically, Marina tells her what all the other women have been saying in the confessionals. That basically you were traveling, you were going away, and you left him alone. You are essentially blaming her for him cheating, basically saying that she allowed it to happen because she was away and she let him have the parties and stuff like that, which I think is unfair, you know, to say. I do get what they're saying, but I hate that is what they're all pushing on her. There is some truth to that, but to say that she went away and let him be alone, like, Marina, that says a lot about you. I'm thinking that maybe it happened to you too, because that's not right. But nonetheless, we're moving to episode 15. We're moving to episode 16, the finale, in the same scene. And you know, Lisa finally realizes that Marina is no longer on her side about it. Like, she's going to support her son regardless, and she realizes in this moment that it's not going to happen. She's trying to showcase that the kids are drawing, having a good time. Marina like, girl, this place about to close. We got to go.
Where her family at?
She don't have her family.
Lisa, she doesn't have a family.
She doesn't. Her family. Yeah, I don't think she. I feel like when she got with Lenny, she kind of left them, and now she has everybody to go back to.
She talked about that in the original run, because back in the original, Marina wasn't fucking with her. Marina did not like that little girl at all. So one, I don't understand why you thought Marina was going to be on your side over your son when she just started liking you 2 years ago.
Marina wasn't crazy. Yeah, I was going to say Marina wasn't crazy about her the season they came back.
Yeah, okay.
That's crazy, and that's what I'm saying.
Back then, in the original, she talked about her family not being close. So, because she was saying, like, it hurts that Lenny's parents aren't really on my side. I don't have anybody. I would love to have a family.
That's a lot to me, though. When you're like, I don't know.
She really, to be honest, to say she's alone, to talk about being alone at this moment, I feel like she's like alone.
Yeah,
I'm on her side too with this whole divorce thing. Like, I'm 100% on her side. Lenny is an asshole.
Yeah,
but I do have to mention that I don't know how Lenny stayed that long with her either, because I feel like they both have horrible ways. Lenny more so than her, because he's being a complete asshole to her and you know, cheating on her and stuff. But
Lenny's a narcissist and Lisa is Lenny's a narcissist and Lisa is needy and codependent. But it's one of those things where I don't like that they're saying, oh, well, you let him have these parties. Like, we've all met Lenny. Do you think if Lisa were to say no, that Lenny be like, okay,
exactly.
I won't
That's
have
what I'm saying. When she
had to get on board to keep her husband.
You left him alone. You left him alone. It's like, huh? Like, I get. I mean, she's an older woman, so I get that mentality, but that's not the reality of a situation.
Yeah. Well, and thank God she got a job and was traveling. Like, because now she's got money. Had she been a stay-at-home, he was still going to do this, and she'd be completely relied on him for income and for shit like that. So, like, whatever. That lady flips so fast. That lady.
It is crazy because, like you said, she wasn't crazy about her before, so she got a whiff of her being on her side. Thought she had a friend, and I think she's gonna always support these great kids, and I hope she still allows her to. But girl, that's that boy's mom. Like, she's not going to, like, no, you can't.
Never.
And so, like I said, we're now in episode 16. Danny had to leave. He didn't even say goodbye, but he was already planning. Yeah, he had some plans today. So he's gonna go spend time with his family, but he'll be back for the reunion. So Jamie and I are gonna finish up this lovely finale. Okay. All right. So in episode 16, which is where Jamie thought we were. Oh, wait.
It's been a long week.
So are you gone or are you here?
I had a low budget issue. I kicked my Wi-Fi out on accident.
Oh, we thought you was gone. Okay, so Danny's not gone.
Not
right.
yet.
Surprise.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So Danny's still here. Yay. Okay. So we're in episode 16, like I said, which is where Jamie thought we were. And in this scene, Gertie's talking
week.
Yes, we see the boxes. Gertie and Lisa are meeting up, and Gertie, they're talking about the Bahamas, and Larsa said it was a good time, but Gertie was like, girl, it was a shit show. And I love the little flashback of all the moments up until Kiki was hollering. Like, I was just like, you know what, this was a very chaotic trip. Like, evident that this was a really good season. And I always say the shit goes down on the trips. Went down on the trip. It was good. But basically, Gertie wants to have a redo. She wants to have a Miami melting pot party. Yeah, like she says that she also wants to give Adriana a chance at the video release party, which Larsa did not attend. She says that she had a mental breakdown and she wants to basically give her one more chance. Larsa does not really want to do that. And Larsa says that Adriana says hurtful things that she can't come back from. And I was just like,
okay, that's the pot calling the kettle black.
Hold that mirror up.
Baby, I'm like, go Lisa. Get that mirror. It's not even just her. Like
the whole
Alexia.
Cast.
The whole cast, but Alexia is heavy on Alexia and Larsa. Let's just be clear. They
Alexia called Julia a Russian prostitute. Like
and said people can say what they want. So it's just like
they had a point with that when he mentioned, how can you say, Alexia, that people can say what they want, and then you tell thing. It's basically say you can say which one, people can't say what they want to you. Got it.
Yeah, no. And so we're gonna get to the melting pot party later. Do you have any thoughts on this scene? Anything here?
Gertie made me laugh because she literally was looking at these bitches like, were we on the same trip? Did we experience the same things?
Well, Larsa was living for it, but yeah.
Larsa started it.
Yeah,
she instigated it.
I hope next scene that, if Larsa them come back, I really would love, like this season, I don't know how y'all feel, but Larsa and Gertie for me didn't really give main character energy this season. Like they felt like friend of shows to me.
You feel like Larsa didn't?
Larsa started strong and then she just
it faded down.
Yeah. She gave season 1 energy. Where she's just kind of there. She shows up, says shit.
I mean, Adriana, but is that because Adriana came at the end and went like this? I feel like she literally came the last 5 episodes and just went from here to, and I think we completely forgot about everything because I mean, Larsa and Nicole's situation was a lot. Nicole even kind of crescendoed, you know what I'm saying, at the end, and it became more. I think it shifted. The season.
I don't see we got enough solo. Well, I guess when I say, I'm sorry to interrupt. I guess when I say like giving friend of the show energy is, we didn't see much scenes to me, as many as we could have seen on Larsa without the group, like without.
It was just her and her dogs, and
it was never the majority of the times we've seen her and Gertie, it's with the group itself. Like Nicole.
But the thing is, Larsa is a boring girl. Like she literally sits in her damn house and like
takes
looks
pictures
at
of
her feet, takes pictures. She's like, and I said this last season, like she's a boring girl.
She
like,
is.
But
she's
also
not make her a friend of the show, and that's that. Because
is that because with the older shows, we've gotten so used to maybe 1 or 2 girls carrying the entire season, and we see these long, drawn-out storylines. Whereas Miami, I think each one of them really has gotten a chance to carry 2 or 3 episodes and really shine and be the central. And then the narrative is kind of focused. I mean, Beverly Hills, that one season of Loosey Goosey Apple Juicy, like that was one of the most draining seasons in the entire show because it was 22 episodes of a fucking dog. Like, so I don't think they gave friend of energy. I think the editing was very, very smart in the fact that it was like, let's keep it moving, because there never was episodes where it was kind of like, I got bored of this already. The editors knew when to like, let's cut it short and move on.
You got a point with that. I'm just saying, like, with the other girls, we get scenes out of them. Nicole,
I think he's talking about like the depth of her
families.
outside of the group.
That's
there
what
was
I'm
nothing
talking about.
going on with Lisa.
We didn't get that.
I mean, with Larsa, we didn't
Yeah.
get anything from Larsa this season. I mean, she
or Gertie either. We had a couple. Yeah, we learned that she's not home enough, which I think was good. But I feel like we could have went there a
expanded
little more.
on
That
it.
was actually interesting to me to see how her dynamic was at the family.
Yeah. I would just love to see Gertie more at work. Like, I want to showcase, because she's a talented event planner. Like, I would love, like, in her first season, I really love the behind the scenes. Yeah. I want that.
Well, she said she's ready for next. She said she's ready for season 6. So
I feel like she's doing damage control and say, make sure you pick me again.
Okay.
Pick me.
Okay.
All right. So small scene with Adriana and this producer. She said that he was the Dr. Dre for the Latinas. I think she said.
This producer. You better say Emilio Estefan.
Emilio
and he is literally.
I don't know him. So
Tommy fucking Mottola. If you were in the Spanish music, Emilio Estefan has produced you over the last 40 years.
To me, he's more of
like babyface.
The babyface of R&B. He's that.
He's
okay.
And that's
listen. Let me just say this: the song that the sample,
was not good.
Was not good. Okay,
it was not good.
I'm not cheap. That's why everybody looks at me. I'm like, what is this?
It was
I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap.
I like
it. Was just
it was giving Louis Gucci Prada in Spanish. That's what it gave.
It was very to me a housewife song.
Yes.
That's what it gave me. A housewife song. Like, it's not going to go nowhere outside of Bravo.
He said, we're going to have to work on it a little bit.
Well, she wants to go somewhere outside of Bravo, so this song should have been a better quality.
She just going to go to the unemployment line. That's it.
She did say she's close to being out of alimony, child.
Alimony's off in a year.
She might be there. But yeah, that scene was great. I'm glad she talked about how she seems very happy, and maybe she'll get into music more. I mean, her song is the theme song for the show. Let's be clear. So, and she's getting that little check from that, the little royalties from that. So then we get a scene with Lisa, Marisol, and Alexia, and they're playing around in this damn wine cellar that actually opens this time because last time it didn't open. They're just gonna drink up all the wine. And if I would start opening bottles too. I would have been open bottles in that damn wine cellar. But in the thing, they're kind of worried that Lenny may pop up, and she says, "Oh no, I told him I had some girls coming over." And they're like, "Well, shit, is he gonna come over here while we here?" So they talk about Adriana's Party. Lisa talks about the music video. Obviously, she went to the music video release, and she says that basically Adriana wants her to help mend Alexia and Adriana. And Marisol's, what about me? Marisol's like, no, it's not really about you. It's about her. Like, more so about more so about Alexia. Sorry, Marisol. Marisol don't like that. And Marisol was like, well, usually that would have been my job to, reconcile the two. But I'm beefing with her too, so that's not going to happen. And Lisa is just like, listen, we held her accountable. We told her that she was wrong, that was fucked up. And Alexia is just not interested. She just says that at this rate, like, you can't go around doing things and saying things and there not be any consequences. And I'm just like,
she needs a Nicole mirror.
I'm just like, okay, all right, Russian hooker. Okay, all right. Whatever Larsa said to Nicole, how she supported Larsa in that moment about the whole hospital thing. So yeah, nonetheless, that happens and they talk about it. And I guess they're prepping to see Adriana later. Did y'all have any thoughts on this scene with these three girls? No. Okay. Did y'all have any thoughts on Julia and Martina's dates? They're back to where they were, I guess, or they feel like they were. It's very interesting seeing how I think we finally got to what maybe was going on, and it looks like there was a loss of affection in the relationship. Yeah. Maybe Julia was focusing more on her animals and her damn quail eggs and shit like that, to where I think Martina was kind of longing for a little bit more attention. And it looks like also Julia had got comfortable in the relationship to where she felt like Martina was good, but Martina was like, no, like that wasn't the case. So I like that they had their dinner and they seemed to have been a little spicy. Martina was like, if I didn't have this food, I would go home and, right now, but I'm hungry, so and I don't want that burnt ass fish. So
Okay.
so I'm gonna eat this food.
It was refreshing to see a scene where Martina didn't look like she was sucking on a lemon and upset the whole time.
Yeah.
So the majority of the time we've seen her, she hasn't been really happy with Julia. So this was refreshing. I had caught myself smiling while watching this scene. Yeah. So I thought it was nice to see.
It reminded me of their first season last year, how they were just really cute and she was backing up Julia and why we like, oh, this is really cool. We really like them. I'm sure that there was some other stuff going on behind the scenes that we didn't see, but I like, particularly in a season where we talk about husbands that don't love you and you know, being divorced and stuff. It's always like the catch-all to be like, oh, my spouse and I are going through marital problems. But I like that this focused on we're back on track with both Gertie and with Julia.
Yeah. And you know, I will say that maybe it's just me. I don't know if y'all can't catch this, but it seems like every time she brings up, you know, the pending adoption, like where they can have a baby any moment. Martina don't seem too thrilled.
Yeah.
She's very
we've been said that.
She's very quiet about it, and I think she's doing that more for Julia because I think regardless of what Martina loves Julia, she don't want to be without her.
Just think about it. If somebody's struggling, if you feel like someone is struggling to give you any attention, or affection, and they doing it with animals and eggs, what's going to happen when the whole baby come in here? That's probably what she's worried about. It seems like Julia doesn't have she's struggles with being able to balance, you know, both. So
I'm interested to see if the adoption is actually even going to go through now, given that it had to be put on pause due to the cancer diagnosis and things. So I wonder if that's kind of going to shift priorities for Julia.
I definitely think it will. But then again, Julia want that child so bad, she gonna be like, girl, listen,
you can hire a nurse for Martina.
Okay.
I don't think Julia is used to not having anything to do. Like Martina has had a career where she's been go. She is now, baby, I want to relax. I want to travel. I want to enjoy life. And I think Julia is still kind of in that spot of like newly empty nesting. That's why she bought all the farm, all the quail eggs, like Danny said. Like, I just don't think that she's used to not being busy.
Like, just wait. You'll have grandkids in a couple years. From
just
wait.
Yeah. Wait. Enjoy a couple of years of
without
travel.
a 18-year commitment. Yeah. Like, just
She needs to chill out for a little bit. All right, so another little, I guess, happy ending story, which I do like about Miami, is that they did bring all the storylines full circle, at least the ones that were personal. We get a therapy session with Nicole and her dad. Now, I mean, in this scene, it also became very clear to me maybe how her dad is, because he is a narcissist. Let's be very clear. He's basic. That is the worst. I just will be like, oh my God, that was a lot. Because he says he can do whatever he wants because he feels like it's right. If he want to go out and sleep with women, he want to go out and, you know, not if he want to leave Nicole, whatever, and leave the family, he feels like he can do that because that's what he thinks is right. I appreciate his honesty. That's very difficult to be around. Anybody that's around that, God bless you, because ain't nobody got time. But they talk about his behavior at the engagement party. He felt like he behaved well at the engagement party. And in this moment, that was a therapist, right? I don't really know her name. Yeah. It was a therapist, right? Okay, I missed the beginning part of that scene, like introduction. But in this moment, you know, she's trying to get him to say sorry, and he's just like, why am I saying sorry for? I don't know. What am I saying sorry? Like right now? Yeah. So he doesn't say it. But what he does talk about is a situation, the story that happened when she was younger. Apparently, Nicole got hit by a car. And what I'm assuming is maybe the door or the rearview mirror or something. What's it called? The side mirror hit her. I don't know what hit her head, but she got hit by a car because he was deciding to go talk to somebody. And she was like in between the car. I was kind of confused by the story, but she got hit. And he breaks it down to like him feeling awful and how he felt about her and basically why he has been the way with her as she has been. She kind of realizes that it wasn't what she thought, and she has a softer spot for him and empathizes for him a little more on how she feels about him. So any thoughts on this scene?
Daddy.
So I'm glad that helped her, you know, to feel like she wasn't abandoned, I guess, per se, by him, that it wasn't out of love. But also, at the same token, as I said and thought about it, You still kind of were abandoned because instead of getting myself together, I chose to just be instead of getting myself together because I knew I could possibly hurt, not the best and not the most responsible, and I could probably cause you to be hurt. I didn't get myself together. I chose myself, continued to be me, and just put you to the side. And he could have had this conversation with her a long time ago too.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciated that it helped her in that moment, like, because it was kind of like, oh wow, a different perspective, like she said, but. At the end, it was still a selfish choice per se, because you still chose yourself.
It first thought, watching this, I completely understand why she keeps her father at arm's length. It was exhausting as a viewer to sit there and watch somebody have little to no empathy for another person that's sitting right there next to them. You said it best. He is a raging narcissist, and I know we've kind of gotten into it on the show, Chase and I, about like, well, that's your dad, that's your family. You need to like seeing this scene right here. Bye, Danny. Have fun.
Bye,
Danny.
Seeing this scene right here, I completely understand and double down on. You do not have to allow energy in your life just because that energy is your family. Like,
of course,
she's dealt with that.
That's not a positive energy, to be honest. It is just seeing him just kind of say he can do what he wants, and it doesn't matter if it's good, bad. Like, that's a terrible thought.
And his little story was just complete narcissist behavior, because all it did was gaslight and flip the viewpoint. And now, Nicole, you have no reason to be mad at me. You actually should feel sorry for me because I felt so bad that you got hit in the head by a car.
A little manipulative.
So it excuses, very emotionally manipulative. It excuses all my behavior, and now I'm the victim. And it's like Danny said, I think Danny wrapped it up.
It's deeper than that damn get hit on the head. It's much deeper than that situation, because, I get it. So just look at how, parents decide to, give their child up for adoption or give their child up, things like that. It's a choice, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good reason, in my opinion, to just completely disown and then kind of treat your daughter like that. And I mean, God, I wonder, how did the mama feel? I mean, Jesus, she don't deal with them, but imagine how she felt. So it was a double-edged sword, I feel like.
I'm glad, that putting stuff out there like that has got to be difficult. So I really applaud Nicole for doing that, because there's so many people that are in that exact same situation. I'm glad that she's allowing, that she's in a better place. She said on Watch What Happens Live, they're in a good place now. So cool, baby steps. You can tell she loves her dad. Good. She's just been very, very cautious around him, and I get it. I understand.
Okay. So another dad, whatever mother relationship. Alexia, we see Alexia's progress with Frankie. Frankie is making omelets. He's like cooking and doing all type of things, washing clothes. So that's great. He's making a lot of progress. We saw that she is getting him into, I don't know if it was like some kind of institute or some kind of organization that's going to help him, prepare him better to be independent, self-sufficient. So that's great. But we also see Peter. I don't know why we saw this, but I guess I learned why we saw this was because Peter, we found out later that it's no longer with his girlfriend, but in this moment, the story came out a year or so ago that Peter was like a domestic with his girlfriend.
His girlfriend, yeah.
And so in this scene, he's talking to his dad, and he's basically, telling him that he's over it. He doesn't like the fact that his mama doesn't support his girlfriend in their relationship. He's gonna take $350,000 out and go to get a place in Puerto Rico. I'm like, where is he getting this money?
Right.
I didn't.
And why Puerto Rico? Y'all are from Cuba.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess you want to move back.
Basically, to Cuba. He's at his wit's end, and he basically wants out. He is over his mom. Any thoughts on these two scenes?
Okay, so with Alexia and Frankie, again, Alexia's saving grace for me this season, and why I can't completely turn on her is
Frankie.
Her relationship with Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I go back and forth because, like, that's got to be, like, obviously you love your child, but after 10 years of that has got to take a toll on you emotionally and mentally, to, like, see your child and all the dreams and stuff you had for your kid kind of like go out the window, and now their life has been altered. So I'm not saying that excuses her behavior, but that's got to, like, do something to somebody. I don't understand what Peter is saying. He's tired of Alexia, because we've sat on this show last season and this season and talk about how much she enables his behavior, doesn't hold him accountable, still
But
pays for his
he
shit.
won't see that though. He won't
So
see that.
I don't understand what you're tired of just your mother making excuses for you for allowing your bad behavior. Like, what exactly are you tired about? I'm very confused. I don't like that kid. He's a fucking narcissist, and he's just not a good kid.
problem. I pray for her, for that child.
Yeah,
Because
and
he's going to run her through there more and more, more than he already has actually. So
yeah, the best thing you could do is let that boy go to Puerto Rico. God damn,
please
get him out of the city immediately.
Not with the money. Send his ass, make his ass go to work. How about that? Let's see how he
tried
does
to work with Todd, and Todd fired him.
Yeah, no. Anyway, so we get to Gertie's event. And first of all, Gertie's event was so nice. Like, it was so pretty. I like that she, especially seeing what it looked like before. It was like this little warehouse. I mean, it had a nice setup and a nice space.
Yeah.
But she got all the girls' names and these little lights. They were cute. And it just looked very tropical. Like, I will say, all the girls are there. They look really, really good. I love the neon thing. I just loved it. I loved it. Like, it was all, I thought everybody looked great. I mean, individual dresses, maybe I could be like, yeah, but overall, collectively, they looked really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, once all the girls are there, they basically start talking about the Adriana situation. Julia is essentially saying that she's not blindly supporting Adriana. Do you feel like her little comments, do you feel like she is like is she doing exactly that? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yes, I mean, we saw when they were still on
she
the
hasn't
trip,
said anything.
She told her, she was like, "You're wrong. You need to go and apologize, and you just need to leave with that." But you can be a friend to your friend, tell them they're wrong, and not immediately like wear them out.
And you don't have to. And I think she's fine. Maybe they probably expect us to do it in public, but she don't have to do that. She's done it. I
don't have to.
She don't owe them that.
One, she's not in a good place with Alexia. Her and Alexia have been at each other's throats all week,
and she could very well be one of those friends. She could very well be one of those friends. It's just like, yeah, she said it, but especially because she's at odds with this woman too.
Yep.
But she's not. So I mean, I respect Julia for that.
She goes, "I'm going to do what I have to do, and not an iota more. I don't owe either of these women more than that."
Right. So Larsa is gassing Adriana up, telling her, "You're gorgeous. You're Beyonce. You need validation. You need all these things. Like, we're gonna just gas you up because that's what you need. You said you're lonely. We're gonna make you feel like everything." Alexia arrives, and Alexia does not. She hugs Adriana slightly, but it's kind of like she don't really speak to her. So Adriana realizes that Alexia is like over her in the moment. But what does she do? She goes over to Marisol, and she's like all over her. And Marisol's trying to get drunk, but she can't get drunk because Adriana's all over her. And she is just like, you know, Marisol is just like, "Listen, let's not talk about this right now. I don't want to talk about this right now." Adriana's like, "But no, I want to apologize, blah, blah, blah." And, you know, she kind of gets her way out of it because Gertie comes over and gives her a drink. Larsa is making a big deal about the seating arrangement that they have for dinner. And she asks Alexia, like, "How you feel about the seating arrangement?" And, you know, Alexia looks around and sees she's sitting across from Adriana. She's like, "Well, I like the song. That's how I feel about the seating arrangement. That's my thoughts. I like the song." I thought that was funny. But Larsa she does not stop there. She's telling Alexia to give Adriana attention because she needs attention. And Alexia's like, "No, my kids need attention. I'm not doing that, Larsa." Any thoughts on this little part?
I don't necessarily disagree with her in that aspect, but also it's like, if you're a friend, even if you're like, grow up. Everybody needs to grow the fuck up. She's so fucking petty. She's so petty. Larsa and fucking Alexia. Just petty old women. Like, my God. That lady's on the verge of a mental breakdown. Go give her a hug. My God. Larsa's such an instigator, though. She's such a bullshitting instigator.
She is. She was trying to create some mess.
I love it.
And she loves to poke with Adriana. Give her some attention. You look like
Adriana's
like
easy.
Very
easy with her. Because they both get each other going. Like, Adriana knows exactly what buttons to press with Larsa, and Larsa knows what buttons to press with Adriana. Like, they get very much a what is it? like a Luann and Ramona situation where they're friends, but they've got this like underlying tension where they go at it, they argue, they low blows.
Like Giselle and
Karen.
Karen.
Very much that. Very.
It's gonna always be something.
To see. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So at the actual dinner table, and this is the final scene of the episode, Gertie is trying to give a toast. She has to basically tell them to be quiet and listen, respect her so she can speak. Let the black lady speak. And in her toast, she addresses it to Adriana and how she supports Adriana and supports her growth and really wants to make sure that she doesn't kick anyone while she's down. Adriana takes the floor and speaks while mentioning Marisol and Alexia. And Alexia, you know, she breaks down again in her confessional about Frankie and just basically, you know, says that, you know, what she went through was a lie. You don't use that against anyone. It should have never been used at all in any kind of way. There's nothing you could ever say about Frankie that would have been positive, especially in that moment, especially about his illness and his sickness. Completely understood. Marisol said, you know, and Adriana is still giving her excuses that it's the reason why she said what she said, that she's sorry. Marisol says, fuck that excuse. Like, no, that is not a valid excuse. And Alexia tells Adriana, think about the words that you use. And there goes that mirror again. Like, mirror, but whatever. She didn't get a mirror. And Marisol turns to Adriana turns to Marisol about again, and Marisol says like she is not accepting the apology. But you know, Adriana is still trying to be apologetic, and she says that her ADD is the reason why she repeats everything. And I'm like, Adriana, the way that you are speaking about yourself in these last 3 episodes, you would think you are 90 years old.
Okay.
AARP. I mean, can't drive. Like, she makes herself seem like she is old and lonely on an island, literally an island of just one by herself. I'm like, you're ADD. And in this whole moment, Kiki is rubbing Julia, telling Julia, you know, you're doing good. You're doing good. And I feel like, you know, Julia Leg is probably shaking the table, like, because I feel like, you know, it's got to be hard to see your best friend kind of take a beating, because she, in my opinion, she was still taking a beating because she was really trying to get them back. They were just not ready, and I don't think they ever will be. But Marisol said that she would never, like, she was done. I think Marisol in this moment, in my opinion, I think that Marisol is probably more done with her than Alexia, to be honest. I think Alexia because you know, that just goes to show about the whole thing. I don't think she still has like all these feelings for this man, but clearly, I think it's just about. I think it's just about that was a very hurtful place in her life. Like, she recognizes the pain and the fact that it was used. I think that's why it really hurts her more. Less about the person. So I was going to ask you: do you think Marisol and Alexia are being mean in this moment? Like, are they being unreasonable by like not trying? By you, especially because Marisol is just like, fuck that. No. Hell no, I'm not doing it. Forget your apologies. Fuck your excuses. Blah blah blah. What you think?
I don't necessarily think they're being mean, because like Adriana has been in that same situation as Marisol, where she's speaking like this to people. We have seasons. She did that to fucking Julie. What's her name? The first round, Joanna Krupa. Mm-hmm. Like Adriana does this. It's just funny that she can't necessarily take it whenever it's being dished to her. While I think they may be being a little harsh, we have to remember this is reality TV, and in the real world, when you go through a situation like this with somebody, you don't talk to them for a couple of weeks, which allows you to cool off and allows you to like, I'm going to get over what I did. This just happened over the course of a week, and cameras are in their face and they're being forced to do this. So no, I don't think they're overreacting. I think Marisol was very honest, saying you need to think before you speak. Like, you can't say these shitty things and then come back and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and blame it on something else. That's not an apology. I don't necessarily think Adriana was being ganged up on. And I don't like that word, because Adriana did it to both of them. But also, these are ladies that have 10 to 14 years worth of history with each other.
Yeah.
Like Julia would be very smart to not insert herself in that. Like you and Adriana just became friends like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, yeah, you can defend her on some points, but on this is deep shit that's going on.
What I think Julia should have probably did maybe was be like, you know what, girl, like just stop. Let's just go. Like
don't do it
something
in a
like
setting.
that. Or just kind of get her out of the situation, because it has to be training. When you're basically at some point where you're like begging for someone to talk to you, be your friend, things like that. And in this moment, she wasn't saying like, be my friend, be my friend. I feel like Adriana was really trying to just do whatever she could and say to get them to be like, okay, I'll give you another chance. And they just were not ready for it. That's what I think. That's what I wish that Julia would maybe have done. Now, I will say this too. I as I said earlier, I do feel like what Adriana said about Marisol was hurtful. Obviously, Marisol, that was a dark place for her in her life. However, it didn't become much of an issue until the thing with Alexia, because when it was said, Marisol didn't like it, right? But she didn't make it like she was done with Adriana until Adriana said what she said about Alexia. And so I think Marisol is. I think that was just like, okay, you said something about me, but now you said something about my bro. Yeah, I'm done with you. And I wish that she would stand on her own. I wish they would. I get their best friends, but I wish they would individually, deal with Adriana how they feel without being influenced by the other.
Yeah. I think also given some time thinking about it, like, and come to find out that, hey, it's probably a possibility Adriana DM'd him first. That brings a level of trust into the situation of like, you're my girl. We've been together, for 12, 13 years. Why are you in a Bumble message with my ex-husband? You knew what happened. So now you're weaponizing it. And even though she may not have been as mad seeing what she said to Frankie, because Marisol and Alexia have been friends for much longer than the show. So Frankie is kind of like Marisol's son. She loves that boy. So once you cross that line, I can see where she would be like, oh, that we're not coming back from that. Had it ended with just Marisol, I think she probably would have been like, that's a shitty thing for you to say. It is what it is. Her and Alexia probably would have been like, okay, well, stop saying shitty things and been done with it. But I think crossing that line with Frankie did strike a nerve with Marisol as well, because she's been there since Frankie was a baby as well. Like, we've seen both of them cry with each other over the Frankie situation over the years. So I can get it. I understand it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just want to ask and see, but kudos for Julia for not jumping in, I guess, and getting, especially because she has issues with Alexia, and I guess it's because of the bucket of ice. She has an issue with Marisol now too. So it got to be really hard not to jump in for a friend when you add those same two people. Because I ain't gonna lie, I would have definitely stepped in and been like, but I think that just goes to show you that Julia is a genuine good person, because she knows what Adriana said was wrong. I think that is why. Had it been anything else, she would have definitely stepped in. But what Adriana said was wrong on both levels. It was unwarranted. And it's crazy because both moments she was trying to show loyalty or relate to the other person and just fucked up both times.
Fucked up royally.
Like that. And hopefully they can. I don't care to see them come back from it, because to be honest, Adriana she has not been that close with Alexia and Marisol in a long time. Like, in these last 2 seasons, she was with Julia. So it's just like, I think she just wants to have that small support that she had, because she really was not that close. But Lisa hijacks the conversation again, and she talks about, she's speaking for Adriana and talking about, how, great of a person she is. But to end it all, she wraps it all up by saying that, again, she wants all of her friends to support her, because this is about her. And that was the end of the finale. So they show the endings for everybody. I don't remember them all, but I do remember that Julia and Martina are going through the cancer journey right now.
Yep. Gertie and her family went on vacation.
Gertie family, they went on vacation. Alexia's son, Peter, he's no longer with that girl. And I'm just like, oop, that was shade. What did they say about Adriana? Her music or something like that?
Yeah, she's preparing her music.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Marisol?
Oh my God, Marisol. Did they give a thing to Marisol?
They did, but I can't remember what they said.
I can't remember.
She's getting a she's gonna be working on
a line of cocktails.
A cocktail line with some famous Malibu.
Which is good for her. Good for her. Take your branding and do what you got to do.
Right.
I think the big thing again was, well, they said Nicole and them were prepping for the wedding. They sold their house, got a couple of $1 million for that, moved into a bigger home. I love that. But the big one for me was Lisa, again, in the middle of her confessional.
So
screaming at fucking Lenny.
Because, so she co-hosted another
She's
party.
So stupid. Why would you
hosted another party, which is the same type of party that he basically met this girl or whatever girls he cheated on you with. And in the confessional, I just don't know. It makes me feel like it's some of this staged, because why is she constantly like, that was a moment where she literally called him in the middle of the thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that. But his last words were, "Leave me alone." And I hope she takes that message and really does that. Please leave that man alone.
Why are you hosting a fucking party with this man?
The same
parties. Why are you hosting a party?
The same parties.
Why? Why are you? After you cried to your girls and said you didn't want to have the party.
She didn't want to do it anyway. Like he forced her. He didn't force you to do anything. But maybe it was we'll find out at the reunion. Maybe he told her, "Listen, you can be at the house all you want, but I'm having this party." And she was like, "This is my house. I'm not leaving." Maybe she kind of got, I don't know. That's my positive thinking.
It's draining. It's draining. I feel bad for her, but also it's like at this point you're kind of making your own decision. Like, you're making your own decision. Why are you're in the middle of a divorce? Like, you have an attorney for a reason. If an article about you leaks in the press, baby, your first call needs to be to your attorney, not to this man. You should not be communicating with him outside of anything other than childcare.
And then co-hosting this thing, that could complicate things. I ain't admit to no divorce, but I feel like you got to be careful what you do. And I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how
she's not smart. Turn it on. Turn it on.
She's not smart, baby. She's not. And so that concludes the 16-episode season of The Real Housewives of Miami, season 5. And I will say it has been a great season. I've looked forward to recapping these because it's always something to talk about. So I feel as though, and I hope that they keep the same momentum, since we've seen such success with Miami on the lean. Next season we'll consider doing it weekly and even probably doing it live. We'll consider. But this has worked out for us too, because we do have other live shows, so we try to make sure that we're not like overworked or like overly doing these live shows. Live shows are a lot, child. Yeah, but speaking of live shows,
I'd be okay with moving this to live and moving Salt Lake City to pre-recorded.
You know what?
Because
what? I will be okay. That's probably going to happen because Salt Lake City worked my everlasting nerves last season. It was not enjoyable. It was just
it felt like work. Every single week we had to come on.
It definitely felt like work, and this should not feel like work because this is something that we're just doing. Okay. So I was like, oh my God, it's Wednesday.
Yep.
That's how I felt.
Raggedy ass bitches.
Right. So, speaking of live shows, the reunion, as we promised, will be live. I think we committed to doing it on Thursday. So this upcoming Thursday is Sunday right now. If you're watching Sunday, the 5th of March. So this Thursday, which is the 9th of March, we're gonna do the reunion part 1 at 8:30 Eastern. So that's 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. I believe the reunion it should be released this week, right?
Yeah, because it's dropping Peacock. It's live.
Okay, I didn't know they were going to take like a week break, but if the reunion drops this Thursday, as I believe it should, we're going to be live at 8:30 Eastern. So when it drops, you make sure you go and watch it, so you can come and watch us live at 8:30 Eastern. So, and I'll be here. Jamie will be here. His new place. I'm curious to see what it looks like. Danny will be here, and so will Chase. So, like this video. Subscribe to the channel, as I always say. Check the channel for updates. Thank you, Jamie. I thank Danny. Danny left. Danny had to go through some things, and let's all pray that Chase get over this hangover that he had for today.
I'm calling him out.
I'm calling him out. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you guys for the reunion part 1. Okay, have a good rest of y'all weekend. Good night. Well, good day. Whatever. Happy Sunday.